All right, so I just got back from Maker Faire, New York, and I acquired an Orion there. It's a smaller form factor Delta robot from SeeMeCNC. Here you can see his bigger brother, the Rostock Max V2, which I have been enjoying. And I got his little brother now, the Orion. And I've actually just literally unboxed it. It came pre-assembled, really well built. That's a shout out there to Andy. Well, I assume it's really well built. It hasn't printed yet. We'll find out whether or not it's well built here shortly, as it is heating up to print the Blinky, which they include, I assume, a sample of one that, if you can kind of see the bed, there's a little bit of a residue of a circle. I'm assuming this is the test piece that gets printed before it gets boxed up. And so I should see something pretty much just like this here in a moment when it starts printing. And it's heating the bed up. It's going to heat the nozzle up and then start printing. And we'll see how well it does. It's packaged really well. There was no damage from... It really wasn't shipping because I picked it up at Maker Faire and they took it to Maker Faire themselves. So, they shipped it themselves so it wasn't subject to the manhandling of UPS carriers or FedEx or whatever. And then it rode back in my car, tilted a little bit in the back seat where I could jam it in. But no damage to it whatsoever. Not a hard, it's pretty much completely pre-assembled, with the exception of you have to attach the LCD screen, which 2 plugs and these little nylon screws here. It pulls right out. You can plug them in, attach it in there. Get the power cable in the back, the USB cable here, which I'm not using. I'm actually going to print off the SD card. It's included. Comes with this handy glue stick. I actually really like this glue stick. I've been using it in my other printers. Works well for ABS and PLA. And so, hopefully here... Oh, I think we've almost hit bed temp. Once we hit bed temperature, it's going to shoot up the nozzle here pretty quick compared to the bed. It's pretty much like a miniature version of the V2. Well, in actuality, if I'm not mistaken, the V2 is a larger version of the Orion. Oh, here we go. It just rehomed. Now it's doing the actual nozzle, I think. Yeah, 205. They include a 1-pound spool of ABS. I don't know if it's a standard blue for every one of them, but I got a, I believe it's labeled as light blue ABS. I mean, I'm sorry, not ABS, PLA. A light blue pound of PLA. Just it is just like a little miniature version. Mine's a little different here because I opted to go with a J head. I already had a whole effector set built for magnetic ball arms that when I upgraded my V1 to a V2, I got rid of because the arms are actually pretty good. I might at some point in the future play around with that, but I'm actually really happy with how my V2 is printing. But I am using a J head in it, which is different than the stock hot end on the stock V2 and the Orion, which is I believe this is still called the Steve's hot end. It's a peak-based hot end, so it's got a fan up here. I can't really see it. Yeah, there's a fan on the other side blowing on the peak to keep it cool. There's the PLA fan down there for the part. And we're almost at liftoff here. Videotaping this first print here, mostly because I want to see if this crashes the bed. So I'm making an assumption, and I was told by Andy from SeeMeCNC, is that he hand builds and calibrates every one of these Orions. We're going to see how well his calibrations are. Because if this nozzle comes out and crashes into the glass, I'm blaming you, Andy. We're almost there. And this is running Repetier firmware, which is what I run on my Rostock Max V2 as well. Just works better with the Deltas, and it's the only firmware you can run on a Delta with an LCD. Oh, here we go. Oh man, look at that. Look at that. Turn some flash on. I'm not a big fan of the new Android camera. I can't change settings on it very easily. I'll use my handy iPhone here to enable some light. There we go. Skirt went down really well. Not sure how I feel about the, and I may be doing it wrong. I did no research on this, how the filament is. It's actually a little buckled here. Maybe I'll flip it around. This is a little more difficult one hand. There we go. Alright, plenty of filament. I'm not sure how the filament routing is done correctly. There's like little slots in the MDF that look like it's for the filament. I'll get my light in here again so I can see the first layer good. I apologize for the crappy camera work. Well, I have to say, and if Jebba happens to be watching this video, you know, I was happy with my Lulzbot as well, but this thing unboxed and printed. And I imagine you guys have the Taz's as well up to that point, but this is actually really well done. Look at this print. That's coming out perfect. This is pretty good. Like, to have a 3D printer that you can unbox and is ready to print is not actually that common. A lot of people claim it's ready to print, but it's, you know, level the bed, you know, and that can take an hour, especially if you're a novice and you don't know what you're doing. Leveling the bed can be a very daunting task, especially if it's a 4-point bed. It's just a nightmare. My Lulzbot was a little bit like that when I got it. Bed was off level a bit. You know, in fairness, my Lulzbot came during was it Hurricane Sandy, and it was like held because FedEx stops shipping stuff during the hurricane, so it might have got beat up a little bit. So it lost its level, but you know, it took me a good week before I got to where I was printing like just this right here. Like, so I am incredibly happy with my SeeMeCNC Orion purchase. I wanted something small and portable that I could take like to my daughter's school, maybe keep in my office. I want to have a printer in my office at some point. And this actually really fits the bill. This is a really portable little printer. You know, you can just grab it by one of the towers and carry it. It's not very solid, very light actually. I was surprised at how light this thing is. And so yeah, so this is the the SeeMeCNC Orion, and yeah, I'm pleased with it. I highly recommend it to anyone. And all right, thanks for watching.